welcome to Global Scope News. My name is Mohsin Ali and you are watching the channel that brings you the most detailed updates and in-depth analysis of global events. If this is your first time here, I kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel, like this video and turn on the notifications so that you never miss any update. Today, we are discussing a tragic and concerning development in the ongoing Russia Ukraine conflict. This includes a deadly strike in Russia's Kursk region that resulted in the loss of lives and significant damage to infrastructure, along with a missile attack on Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, that targeted key areas and caused destruction, including to buildings housing embassies. These events demonstrate how deeply this conflict is impacting the people, the region, and even international relations. Let's examine every detail to understand their broader implications. On Friday, the town of Russia's Kursk region became the site of a devastating attack. Kursk is located only 25 kilometers or 16 miles from the Ukrainian border, making it highly valuable due to its proximity to the ongoing conflict. This strike resulted in the deaths of 5 people, while 9 others were injured. Initially, officials reported six fatalities, including a child, but this was later corrected. The damage was widespread, with several important buildings such as a culture center, a fitness complex, and a school being severely impacted. Homes in the area were also destroyed, leaving many families displaced and in distress. The images of the destructions showed buildings reduced to rubble and people searching desperately for their belongings among the debris. Alexander, the acting governor of the Kursk region, released updates through Telegram where he provided details about the casualties and the destructions. He confirmed that none of the deceased were children, addressing earlier reports that were incorrect. This incident left the local community in shock, as such violent events are usually unexpected in small towns like Vesk. Residents described the terror they felt when the strike occurred, with many saying that they heard loud explosions and felt the ground shake beneath them. Emergency services were very quickly to respond, rushing the injured to hospitals and working tirelessly to control fires that broke out after the attack. Incident highlights the valuability of broader regions like Cox, which have increasingly become targets in the ongoing conflict. The people of Rask, who have already been living in fear due to the location near the war zone, now face even greater uncertainty and trauma. Schools and community centers, which are normally places of safety and learning, have been turned into symbols of destruction. The emotional toll on the residents cannot be overstated, as many have lost not only their homes but also their sense of security. Meanwhile, the situation in Ukraine remains equally dire. On the same day, Russia launched a missile attack on Kyiv, targeting various parts of the city. This attack damaged a building that housed the diplomatic missions of multiple countries, including Albania, Argentina, Palestine, Portugal. The damage to such an important building raises questions about whether it was a deliberate target or collateral damage. Ukraine Foreign Ministry confirmed the importance on these diplomatic missions, but unfortunately, no diplomats were injured in the attack. However, one person was killed and nine others were injured, adding to the growing list of the civilians casualties in this war. A verified videos from the district in Kyiv showed significant damage to Nicholas Cathedral, the city's second oldest Roman Catholic church. The church, a historic and spiritual landmark, had its windows shattered by a nearby blast. This attack not only caused physical destructions but also left a deep emotional scar on the people of Kiev. As places of worship and cultural heritage are being damaged in the crossfire, local residents expressed their anger and despair, with one man, a restaurant owner, describing the Russians as beasts after witnessing the extensive damage to the property. Ukraine's military reported that Russia had launched 65 drones and missiles across the country overnight, most of which were intercepted. Despite the efforts of Ukraine's air defense, the attack still caused significant destructions in certain areas. This demonstrates the scales and intensity of the conflict. When where even partial success in intercepting missiles cannot prevent widespread damage. The Russian military. The Russian Ministry of Defense stated that the missile attack on Kyiv was a response to an earlier Ukrainian strike on a chemical plant in the Rostov region of Russia. According to their statements, the missiles targeted an SBU, Ukrainian Security Services, command post in Kyiv. This explanation suggested that the attack was part of the broader military strategy to weaken Ukraine's defensive capabilities. However, some analysts in Kyiv speculate that the attack could be linked to the killing of a Russian general, Lieutenant General, in Moscow earlier in the week. In addition to the attack on Kyiv, there is growing concern about Russia's potential use of more advanced missiles. On Friday morning, Ukrainian authorities issued an air alert in response to the possible launch of an Orishnik intermediate. Orishnik intermediate range ballistic missile. Residents in Kyiv were urged to take shelter immediately. Although it turned out to be a false alarm, the alert underscores the constant fear and anxiety experienced in civilians in conflict zones. This psychological impact is as damaging as the physical destructions, leaving people in a state of perpetual stress. As we reflect on these tragic events, it becomes very clear that the human cost of this conflict continues to be raised. Both sides have suffered losses, and innocent civilians are paying the highest price. The ongoing violence not only affects the immediate regions but also has broader implications for international relations and global stability. Diplomats, governments, and international organizations must work together to find a path toward peace, as the alternative in continued suffering and destructions. Before we end, I want to thank you for watching this detailed analysis. If you found this information valuable, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Global Scope News. Your support helps us continue bringing you comprehensive coverage of the world's most important events. Stay tuned for more updates and until next time, take care and stay informed.